All right, so things are kind of changing and not going according to plan. Currently at the rock cut, waiting for the approach of Reading Northern's diesel locomotive, which is pulling today's Lehigh Gorge Scenic Excursion. You see that? You see that caboose? Well, I actually booked that caboose for the very next excursion today. I'm going to be doing a private caboose ride experience. Would you like to join me? If so, all you have to do is come along with me. Hey guys, glad to have you back for a new video venture. So today I'm coming to you from the Jim Thorpe area. Right now we're right here at the Lehigh Gorge area. And these areas I've filmed before. Right behind me is the Turnhole Tunnel, which I've done videos on as well. And the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway may sound familiar to you. That's because last year myself and RJ did take a ride on that excursion for our very first time, where it was being pulled by Reading Northern's 425, the Blue Beauty. It was a really incredible experience, a lot of fun. And I found out through booking that train car, the open air car, that you can actually book the caboose for yourself. It's open to anyone. Anywhere from 1 to 6 people can book the caboose for one excursion, and you get to enjoy your very own private caboose experience. So once I found that out, I talked to a couple people who actually did that last year, and they said, yeah, it's a fantastic experience, a great way to enjoy the scenic railway from your very own private car, private caboose. So once I found it out, got confirmation of how incredible it is and that it's not very expensive, I booked it for today, and today's the day. And I do have a few guests who are going to be joining me. Showing up first right here is Alan of Revenge of the Apocalypse. He's going to be joining us for today's caboose experience. I do know of up to 4 more people that are supposed to be joining us. Hopefully they do come today. Because I did have to book this in advance through a credit card, and everyone was in agreement to coming out today to take the excursion and the caboose ride. So we'll find out in a little while who else is going to be here. But regardless, I know I'm going to have a great time. And we're going to be boarding the train around 12:30, quarter to 1 for the 1 o'clock excursion. But before we do that, I want to take just a few moments to talk about this area here. And I'll tell you why. So as I mentioned, I am standing along the river here, and up there is the Turnhole Tunnel, the old train tunnel. And these are the old supports for it. And up there is the active rail line and vehicle bridge that crosses the water here. But the one thing I'm asking for is your help, because I've shown it in the past, but I was able to get really good footage of it today with my drone. In the water here, which is hard to tell from this angle, but I will show some drone footage, is there's some beams, or I can only call them beams, that are just kind of going in a long pattern down towards the rapids down there. And it's almost like a rectangle shape with some cross sections as well. I truly don't know what it's for. I think there's even some on the other side as well. I was able to fly over and get some really good aerial footage of it. So I'm hoping you guys can maybe help identify what it is. If you think it was maybe structure from the old bridge that was here, it's a possibility, but I figured that'd be laying this way and not this way. Unfortunately though, they don't allow swimming here, so I can't really do any snorkeling to find out, you know, in depth what it is, up close and personal. So we just have to kind of view it from the sidelines here. But it is a really gorgeous area though, regardless of that. But if you guys do have any information, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But just looking around, just to kind of give you a recap, you know, the abutment is over there, hiding behind the trees. It's like a big wall at this point. And the 2 remaining supports. And you can see this big steel plate here on the front of it facing upriver. And that is obviously put there purposely, even on the active bridge. That is to help prevent any damage to these from high waters with debris floating down trees, boulders and such. So it is a protective barrier on those gargantuan concrete supports. And it's just a beautiful day here. It's upper 70s, gonna be low 80s today. Humidity's not too bad. And you can probably see, maybe hear a lot of birds flying in and out of the tunnel. If you guys do want to see any of my previous videos from this area, whether it's the Jim Thorpe area, the Turnhole Tunnel, my previous train trip, everything will be found down below in the description area. Aboard. All right, so things are kind of changing and not going according to plan. So if you don't mind hearing me out for just a moment, I'm going to explain what's going on. The train is back from their first 11 o'clock excursion. We came here to the Jim Thorpe train station, to the ticket booth, to gather our tickets for the caboose. Upon giving my information, like, yeah, we have you down for tomorrow for the first excursion. I'm like, nope, I have the email confirming it. I'll show it to you right now. They looked at it, they're sitting there kind of scratching their heads like, uh-oh, something's wrong. So somehow, through the ticket counter and through booking, they booked a kind of a double trip, but essentially they actually put us in for the wrong day. My email is correct. We're supposed to have the caboose for today for 1 o'clock, but they put us in for the wrong date for tomorrow. And the people that are already taking it today already came and got their tickets. So we had two options that were offered to us. It was either get a refund and just say, sorry, you know, hope that you could book again in the future. Or they said, we'll let you ride on the open air car for free today and we'll honor your tickets for a different date. So we did speak and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the open air car, make the best of a bad situation. And the caboose we will be riding in the future. We're gonna select a date and time and make that actually happen. So the guy felt bad, the girl felt bad. I was pretty upset. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, we all came from different areas. We drove a couple hours, some of us. So the caboose we won't have today. I'm really bummed about that, but we're still gonna be doing the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Excursion, and we're getting to ride for free and being able to do the caboose in the future without having to pay any additional money. So that's what's gonna be happening. Also joining us too, everyone is here as far as I know. Matt PG is here and Jamie Macon. They actually just connected the locomotive and putting air in the line. That is what is taking place, and just goes to show that, you know, everyone makes mistakes, including myself, including businesses. Things happen, but they did rectify the situation the best they could, and I'm happy they did that. So You know, no one's to blame. It's just human error. But we're still gonna have a good time. We're gonna get some good footage. We will be in the open air car right behind the diesel locomotive, and we'll be able to get some fantastic views here on a gorgeous spring day here in Jim Thorpe. So next time you see us, we should be boarding the train. Here we are aboard the first open air car directly behind 2531. That is literally how close we are. As I back up, you can see the little vestibule here. So it's gonna be a pretty incredible experience and very different from last time when I was behind the Blue Beauty 425. So we'll see how the sounds are, how the views are, the speed is. And as a whole, just get to experience it a different time of year, behind a different locomotive with different people. Should be a great time. You can also see too that it's a pretty empty car today. It's primarily us up in the front section. I have a few people down there, and I don't think they're expecting many more people for today. So even though we're not on the Caboose, we almost have a private car to ourselves, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna be able to get views on both sides, walk around, you know, and just kind of get some really fantastic shots. But we will be leaving in just a few moments, and you'll be able to see what we see along the way. So make sure you got your ticket, climb aboard, because we're leaving pretty soon. Watch out for the bear. They've been known to bite. There it is. There goes the RPMs. Back there is the conductor who's going to be punching our tickets. My favorite part is that horn. Nothing beats a steam whistle, but that's a close runner-up.
I've just been told we have some raptors that have been spotted on the river. A little bit far back from the river right now, but once we get out into the middle of the gorge, keep an eye out. And we'll be much closer to the river, so the raptors will no doubt be much easier to see.
Norfolk Southern unit. They actually bought a bunch of Norfolk Southern's equipment. Thank you. Got a maintenance garage there and the turntable.
Which is used during our popular steam excursions to turn the steam locomotive to face the opposite direction. If we have any parties on board who are interested in those excursions, the first run to the season will be
little pup unit, 1548 switcher.
Keep your eyes open now. There's a variety of snakes, including rattlesnakes, black snakes, and
why'd it have to be snakes?
Over the hometown high bridge. The track we will be traveling on leads us to the Reading Northern's main line.
Oh, there's a train coming. There's the back of the train with the caboose, which we should be on, but we will be on in the future. And we're now approaching the truss bridge.
The Looks like we also have one of our maintenance vehicles out along the track, just across from the new bridge. We're now crossing over the Coal Quarry Bridge, across the former Lehigh Valley Railroad, once owned by mishap. Today, a
there's the view from the bridge we just crossed.
Inside the windows.
Like I said, on the return trip, I'll try to show you what we missed, but show you some horn action as we come up towards the rock cut section. So I'm going to move over to the other side because we're going to be able to see the turnhole tunnel. Coming up to a signal here around the sharp curve, and we're going to be approaching the bridge, rail and vehicle bridge going over the river, and we're going to be looking for the turnhole tunnel opening. They should be hitting their horn in just a second here. Yep, there it is.
As we prepare to cross the Lehigh River for the second time, the area of the location is
Pick up speed now. Moving.
Men's sports and '84 football. Guests of the hotel were able to take the section on the Lehigh River and also enjoy the racing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Right over there. There's the turnhole tunnel.
Over to the right field where the river ends.
There's the rock cut section. And up here on the right there, is where I did my intro. Woo! The old telegraph poles.
Yeah.
There's a duck there. Top of milepost 127. Not sure if you heard that on the announcement, but I'll repeat just in case. But we're going to be going around the sharpest curve on this route, and we're going to be going under a former pipeline for oil that runs 450 feet, but now holds fiber optic cable. And we're going to be approaching it here in just a second.
Our train is entering Oxbow Curve now. Look
Called
overhead in just a moment.
Oxbow
We'll be over
Curve.
to that oil pipeline as we travel underneath it.
A little shaky here, but okay, there it is. Looks like a bridge, but it's actually a former pipeline. Now inside of it is fiber optic cable. It's right there. See the sharpness of the curve going around this sharp bend here. There's two more open air cars behind us, and then a few coach cars.
This portion of the Lehigh Canal is named the Evergrande section. In total, 20 dams and 29 of these. Across the river, you will also be able to see the area where Bear Creek empties into the Lehigh. Bear Creek is a favorite for those who enjoy fishing for Pennsylvania state fish to brook trout. That category does not just include fishermen, believe me.
Narrator is actually really informative. He did state that the mile markers that we've been seeing, we passed 127 and 128. That's how many miles away it is from Penn Station in New York. So currently 128 miles away from Penn Station. Another fact too, which I may have mentioned on my first excursion, is that they do run what is called a bike train. And that is where the train will take you to the same location you're going, but they actually have some open, really gondola cars and they will transport you and your bicycle. You get off there and then ride all the way back to Jim Thorpe. It's like a 20 or 25 mile trip. So for those of you that do like biking and trains, that's definitely an option to consider. Something I may definitely do in the future. I've been saying for a long time now I want to do more biking, and I do have other things planned for my mountain bike as far as some things to show you guys, some trails and former rail lines, but to do a train / bike ride excursion would be quite the experience. So maybe later this summer, if not, maybe or most definitely next year. But I was talking to Matt about it. He said, yeah, maybe I'll pick up a bike and there's a railroad track sticking out of their Squirrel 30 moment. But yeah, you may see myself or others doing it in the future.
Okay, coming up on the left as we near our destination, you will see a very small waterfall coming through the mountain. Don't blink, you will miss it. This small stream runs through the depths of the forest and travels directly underneath our tracks, emptying through the Lehigh River.
There it is, the never-ending waterfall.
We have reached our destination. Old Penn Haven, also known as Penn Haven Junction, is one of the most desolate spots along the rails. Located about 7 miles north of Jim Thorpe.
We're now crossing over the switch for the siding here, where the locomotive as we're going to watch is going to pass right next to us to couple up to the back of the
At
train.
one point, this area was the intersection for the canal and fire. What is going to happen next is our engine will be uncoupling from the front of the train. It will then switch to the track immediately next to us and
So as we're waiting for the locomotive to couple up to the back of the train, they did state that the lines here used to be much more significant. Now the line to the left closest to the mountain is a Norfolk Southern line. The line here in the middle is a siding, which they are using to move to the back of the train to hook up to the caboose. And we are on the main line. They said it used to be up to 5 main lines here back in the day. So this was a heavily used area by trains. Even though it's very desolate in the mountains, it is very active with trains coming and going on 5 different main lines. All right, reach out, give the conductor a high five. And the engineer. High five, high five. Telling the guys that even though we're not essentially in a caboose, we are technically kind of like a caboose right now, just at the very back of the train. So we were the first car, now we're the last car. So they're getting some footage showing out the window with the rail, so I'll give you guys a glimpse as well. And there's the never-ending waterfall. I'm not going to film the whole way back, but I will show that bridge that we crossed on the other side now. It's a pretty great view, and it's a high drop as well. So after this clip, you'll see out the window, then we'll be at the bridge, and then rolling back into the Jim Thorpe train station. by 2 diesel locomotives as well. Is that a high railer there? That's pretty cool. And now we're going over the bridge, and just look how high it is. Even better, give you a view from out here. That's a gorgeous shot right there.
Now re-entering another one of the closest appearances along our line.
Back in the rail yard now, you can see a few of their coach cars. Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern. And some plates and rails and another high railer. Pensy and Lehigh Valley.
But this time what we have train only there is no
These cars here are for the bike train. They put the bikes right in there.
For more information about our trains and about the visit our website at www.lgsry.com or affiliated
New coach cars. A little faded, but still nice. Baggage car. Generator. That's a mail car right there. And another caboose. And just like that, we are back here in downtown Jim Thorpe, pulling up to the former Jersey train station. Once we do on board, I will share my final thoughts with you, and that will conclude today's video of the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And just like that, we are off the train, saying goodbye to our open air car. So I do have a few thoughts I want to share with you. Take a little seat here. So first off, before we go into any details, I do want to thank Alan, Jamie, and Matt for coming today. They did show interest when I talked about it, and they said, yeah, put me down. So when I purchased the tickets for today, they were confirmed to want to do this, and the 4 of us had a great time. Now, again, it is unfortunate how things played out. We were supposed to have the caboose being double booked. It just didn't pan out in our favor, but it kind of worked out in the end because we got the open air car. Not everyone who was supposed to come today did show up, so they didn't miss out on not doing the caboose. But with that said, the caboose is booked, confirmed, and I have tickets for a future trip. No spoilers, I'm not going to tell you when, but rest assured, the same 4 of us, and hopefully 2 more, will be doing the caboose. We already have the tickets for it. They can't screw up anymore. No mistakes. And you will have a private caboose ride experience with myself and a few others. So that will be something to look forward to. But this was a really, very unique experience compared to last time when I rode this last year, because being pulled behind a steam locomotive has its own benefits and unique things to encounter as far as the sounds, the smells, the feel of the train, how it's being pulled along. Being pulled by a diesel, obviously the horn was awesome. That horn is amazing. And the power that's able to accelerate so quickly was pretty impressive. So it's speaking of which, here it comes too. But my favorite part of this whole trip was we were crossing the bridge. These other 2 Reading units were coming, and they had like a horn playing tag back and forth. There it is. My seat's actually shaking. But hopefully everything came across on camera pretty good. I snapped just a few still. I'll just wait. Okay, I snapped a few still photos and got some footage on both trips. And overall, it was a great experience, a great day, and glad to have you guys along too. So if you want to see my first excursion and the other videos from this area, as I mentioned, they will be linked down below in the description, as well as their channels, so you can check out their perspectives, including Matt's, because Matt's first time riding the train, first time in the Jim Thorpe area, so you want to check out his channel and see what he thinks of it. But we can't wait to come back and do the Caboose for real this time. It's going to be such a fun experience, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, because when that happens, you're going to want to make sure you watch it and don't miss it. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next video.